What's good, y'all? Black Visionville here. It's your girl Katie, aka your sister from another mister. With me, as always, the beautiful Miss K2 Cray. How you feeling today, lady?
I'm feeling fantabulous, pushing through my sister. How about
Nice,
yourself?
nice. How was your stream last night? I saw you did an interview. How did that go?
Yeah, it was awesome. Y'all definitely check it out.
Where
My
can they check it out at?
my screen name on Twitch is this. Just add an extra Y. And definitely check it out. It was with Unicorn Goddess. That is an amazing soul.
Shout
I'm gonna
out to
see
her.
if she wants to come on the panel one day and talk about some things.
Absolutely. Well, I am excited for you for that. I
Thank you.
need to check it out because I'm not on Twitch, but we need to get on there. So, yeah. So today we are talking about abortion, adoption, and the beautiful black woman.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, before I lead into my own personal experiences with both of those things, I just want to read some stats for you. So, this one comes from kff.org, and it's basically just percentages of women per race who had abortions. Black women surprisingly lead the highest number of abortions by about 39%. Then, when you go to other races, there's 33% of those women were white who had an abortion um, these last previous years, and 21% were Hispanic, 7% were among other races. And when it comes to the adoption piece of that, I found some statistics from a website called lifelongadoptions.org with about 37% of adoptions in the US being white, 23% of the adoptions in the US being black, and the rest other races. So, with that being said, from there, I want to kind of just give my experiences when it comes to those things. As far as abortion goes, I can say that I have had an abortion before, so I am a part of that 39% of black women who has had an abortion. I am definitely the type of person who is pro choice. I feel like it's your body, it's your choice. When it came to getting an abortion, that was not something that was easy for me. That was something that definitely took a toll on me mentally, especially something that like I said, that I have done. If I could go back and choose to do it better, I would. I slept with somebody and the condom broke, and that ended up happening like that. So it wasn't just like the whole stereotypical, you're just sleeping around, you're this, you're that. It was literally just one of those situations where the shit happened like that. So again, it's not something for me that was an easy decision. It's not something for me that I'm proud of. I was raised in a Christian household, so to get an abortion like that was something that is a big no no. Nobody that I know, besides a few people, knew that I had an abortion until today. When they watch this, they will see this. But yeah, so for me, yeah, surprise. So for me, it was a very personal decision. It was not one that I took lightly. And like I said, it is not something that I am proud of by any means. I look at it as, for example, there's this show. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but her name is Ayana. And
Hmm.
it's a TV show called Ayana Fix My Life. So season 6, episode 7, it's titled Raised by Monsters. And basically, it just tells the story of um, five brothers and sisters who, after being abandoned by their mother, who was a drug addict, they were put in foster care and basically tortured and essayed their most of their childhood in those foster homes. So when it comes to abortions and things like that, for me, I feel like that is something that's important to look at and understand. because you have to ask yourself, is it would it be more beneficial to keep this child and end up having them go through potentially having a horrible life, or would it be better to potentially take them out of that situation? So again, for me, it's just something, like I said, that I I did not take lightly, and something that, um, for me, is a very touchy subject, especially when I hear people say things like being so quick to judge women who do that,
Mhm.
being so quick to look down on them, or just assume, like, well, you're just a hoe because you got pregnant, or you just didn't want to have that responsibility of having that child or raising that child, so you took the easy route out. It is so much more than that and so much deeper than that. And that's why I feel like, for me personally, especially because I've been there, done that, it's like some things you just have to understand have nothing to do with you. You can have an opinion about shit, but some things, it's like, at the end of the day, understand that this is my body, and at the end of the day, I have to deal with the consequences of whatever I choose to do. So, with that being said, I'm going to pass it along to you, Miss K, and you can just go ahead and take it from there.
Ah, beautifully said, and thank you for sharing your experience with us. Because it's not easy being vulnerable, okay, and that is a very touchy subject for anyone involved because you're speaking of a person's right, a
Right.
person's choice, and a possible person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, people love to have all these opinions about, oh, it's a life, and you're killing baby Jesus' spirit, and I don't understand how you could ever do that. That's just, how could you? You're a murderer. You're a murderer. How dare you could do that to the person? And they have all of this passion, but yet, once the baby go plop, and you got to wake up at 3 a.m., or when the baby's sick, or whatever the case may be, raise this human, nobody is there to have their back.
Right.
Um, I feel like you should never, there's not too many people who's out here getting, abortions like it's a 10th free coupon at the dairy.
Right.
Like, it's not. I've never what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
I just want you to know that, from what I've seen, it's not
Mm-hmm.
an experience you want to
Well,
have every
right.
day.
Yeah, for sure.
If you've ever been to the gynecologist, it's not a familiar surrounding that you want to have on a daily
Definitely not.
basis. Someone's hand up your cooter. But and just think about the machines that they use, and like, I'm saying this like this because people don't think about the bigger picture of
Right.
things. There are so many children in the foster care system that
Exactly.
are abused, just like KT said, mentally, physically. Okay. And we have some moms who may be going through some things, can't afford it, can't mentally, take care of that child right now. So they choose to go the adoption rate if
Mm-hmm.
they cannot do the abortion rate.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, it is the choice. But all these, but what if this person was the next principal or the
Right.
next, like, stop assuming
Mm-hmm.
and just let this person deal with what they're dealing with. Okay. And I don't really like the fact that they try to force you into having guilt
Right.
on your choices, because you should never wish death upon anyone, not even your worst enemy,
Right.
because maybe your worst enemy need to learn a lesson. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people out here who have kids and don't treat them like a shiznayee.
Right.
Okay. I watched so many episodes of, not in a row, honey, because it dampens my soul. But
Yeah.
like I've seen so many episodes or so many news stories where they're talking about local woman puts baby in microwave because she went to
Right.
go to the club. And that isn't even a made up story.
Right.
That's not even a made up story. And people want people to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is taking the initiative to say, "Hey, tag, not it. Yeah, I did what I did, but I can't do this. I'm not going to be responsible for me raising another human. I
Mm-hmm.
physically can't. I physically won't. I physically don't see how I can do this right now."
Yeah.
And if you have that mentality, and it's never an easy thing to do,
Not at
okay?
all.
Because you have a connection with the child, okay? So there's been so many stories where the mother said, "Hey, I'm not going to give them up for adoption, or I'm not going to have an abortion. Let me try. Let me try." There's always these different scenarios. So just because someone is faced with that option doesn't mean they're going to always choose the latter, meaning give
Right.
away or kill. There's a lot of people who try, there's a lot of people who succeed.
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it is that person's choice.
For sure.
And we cannot shame people for getting it, even if she popping it like, some
Right.
candy. Okay? And like you said, it's not always, oh, she's a whore, or she's just, this is funny or whatever, or she doesn't care. It's even if she don't care, hey, let her not care, because of the simple fact that you don't want somebody who don't care to raise someone. Okay? Do you think that someone is going to end up caring? No. They're going to be on Ayana Fix My Life. My
Right.
mom was a cold bitch.
Right.
She didn't talk to me. And she would eat mayonnaise in front of me and tell me to smack her ankles. These are real stories of people.
Yes.
Or these people who grow up to be monsters. Some people overcome it, some people don't.
Right.
you know so
Yeah.
it's like we can't force people to make the same decisions that we would,
Right.
because that's why we all have our own consciousness life that we have to abide by. You live your life the way you want to, and I'm gonna live my life the way I want to.
Right.
Okay? You don't have to be Captain Save-A-Hole with souls. You don't.
Right.
Live by your word and your mindsets, and let other people do the same. Don't force ideology on people. You
Right.
can always teach. It's nothing wrong to teach. It's nothing wrong to say, "Hey, this made me happy. This made me be fulfilled." I've seen people who've had the child and they look at the baby's face and they don't feel nothing, no connection. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. You can't judge people for how they react, what they do, who they are, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, the word is, it's your life to live. And we all have that free will. Now, when you start taking away that free will, then it becomes what? What? What does it become
Control.
when you take all the free will from people?
Control.
And is that what you want? You want someone
Right.
to control your every thought, your every move, your every piece. So basically you're just a puppet, and
Right.
haha, just do what you want me. Just do what you want, okay? I'm not goofy.
Right.
You shouldn't be goofy either.
Yeah.
And we worried about these future kids. We need to worry about the kids right now,
Right.
because there's so many who don't get the love and care. And when I found out that people just idolize the foster care system, like it's just like, oh, it's beautiful and they're gonna get a home and they're gonna get love and happiness,
Right.
and they're better. Oh, I took you from your mammy and now you're living the life. It's from rags to riches. It don't be like that for
Right.
everybody.
A lot of kids get in the foster care system and stay there until they've aged out. And then once they age out, they're just putting these kids out on the street like, hey,
Yeah,
survive. And it's like, you, I feel like we live in such a judgmental society. Everybody is so quick to judge, but not so quick to put yourself in somebody else's shoes
yeah,
and say, if I was in this situation, what would I do?
yeah,
Like example for me when it came to getting an abortion, I took the right precautions. I wore a condom because I
yeah.
had that in my head that I did not want to have another child, and it still ended up happening like that anyway. So
Right,
is that something that I need to be faulted for because I took the steps and it still happened like that? Like
right.
having
You mad
that,
at me because my coochie in the 1%? I'm sorry.
right,
I'm sorry. Did I ask to be fertile myrtle? No, I
right,
did not. You wear the rubber ducky and it still go pop and the quack.
right,
So
right,
what you wanna do?
right,
So you, like you said, you don't know the situation. You
right.
don't know the mental capacity space. I seen. Listen, there's a lady who has a baby, and she is clearly on the mental decline.
Mm,
And it hurts me because I see her do certain things in front of the baby. The baby
yeah,
is quote unquote safe now. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because you can say a child is safe and then they don't be.
right.
And it just, my heart just really goes towards the children who don't have homes or who don't have the home.
Because these
You know what
children
I
are
mean?
going to grow up and be
Yeah.
adults in our society.
Exactly. And then some of them hold on to that hate. Some
Right.
of them, heal. Some of
Yeah.
them, it's just like it all depends on what journey they choose to take. And,
Right.
anyone who has given a child away, you have those thoughts like, oh, please, I hope you don't hate me. I
Right.
really hope that you understand that I did this because this was the best at the time. Do I think of like you? Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I really hope that you become an amazing person, you
Hmm.
know? And it's like you have these thoughts and you don't know what that mother is thinking. She
Yeah.
could be having all the sincere
Right.
feelings in that moment because of the simple fact that she feels sad, ashamed, you
Yes.
know? It's
Yeah.
a
Absolutely.
choice. Any
And
choice is hard enough,
yeah,
you
for
know?
sure. And
And that
it
choice could be you don't want to ruin a life.
right.
You don't want to
You
ruin a
have
life.
to look at it from every point of view, not just this is your child that you got pregnant with, regardless of what their life could be like, even if it ends up being like they will be put in foster care and essayed from the time they're
Mhm.
5 till the time they're 18. It doesn't matter. They have a heartbeat. You need to birth that baby. It doesn't matter what they're going to go through. It's like it's so unfair to
Right.
put
To
so
have
much.
that mindset.
Yeah, exactly. To
That's
put
so
so
much
much. It
pressure.
is. It really is. And it's like nobody thinks about the mother. Nobody thinks about the life that the child could potentially have in this case.
Right. Hey,
Speaking from a
Mike.
place, I was, salute to you, Mike, in the building. Thank you for stopping by. I was personally adopted. I was
Yeah.
adopted at 9 months old by my birth mother. Before that, I was in foster care for 9 months. Before that, I was in my mom's custody, who was a drug addict. Um, I was born with drugs in my system. I was taken from her. She was given an opportunity to clean up her act, and she didn't. So I was taken and put up for adoption. I am grateful for my adopted mother. I feel like she definitely saved my life. Did I have the best childhood growing up? Absolutely not. Did I have the worst? Absolutely not. Are there
She
things
was
that
a
I feel
bully,
like,
y'all. I was
yeah,
learning stories of the house.
yeah,
Like, Katie, sweet little Katie.
yeah.
No.
So it's just for a long time I had a lot of hate and animosity towards my birth mother because after I started having children, I couldn't understand, I couldn't relate to her giving me up for adoption. For
Mm.
me, it was just, this is my child, this is a piece of me. I don't understand how someone could do something like that. But in the same token, it wasn't until I started having kids that I really understood where she was coming from. And it took a while for me to get to a place where I didn't think about her and hate her or judge her. Like, how hard can it be to just get clean for your child? But again, I think one of the things that really helped me was when I watched that episode of Ayana Fix My Life, and she was talking to this woman's children, and she said, "You can't fault your mother for not knowing how to be a mother
Right.
when she was raised by a woman who didn't teach her how to be a mom." So how can
Exactly.
you, how, thank you, Mike, how can you judge her for not knowing what she doesn't know? How do you expect this woman to be a good mother when she was not shown how to be a good mother? You know, how can I fault my birth mom because I don't know what type of life my birth mom had before she got pregnant with
Exactly.
me, you know, and I don't even know what type of life I would have had if I would have been in her custody, but I'm pretty sure it wouldn't have been a good one considered, like I said, I was literally born with drugs in my system.
Right.
So I can only imagine the life I would have had if I would have stayed in this woman's custody.
Right.
So for that, it's like when you look at it that way, you have a better understanding for not only the woman who goes and gets that abortion, but that woman who stands up and says, you know what, I cannot provide the life for you that I know that you need and that you deserve, and I'm going to give you to somebody who can. That for me is like, there's no greater, you know, greater decision you can make than to sit here, especially to carry your child for 9 months, to feel
Yeah.
that child, to be so connected with that child, and still, like, you have to be a strong woman for that. And
Yeah.
for people to sit there and judge that and criticize people like that, it's just, it's something that, as far as our society goes, it's really sad and unfortunate, especially within our community. Because I was watching another live, and the gentleman on there said that the that black women's womb are the most dangerous place for a child to be because
Oh,
of the rates of abortions that black women get. For me, that was hurtful because it felt like an attack. You don't know people's situations. You know, no, I feel like there's no black woman out here that ever got an abortion or ever put her child up for adoption that did so because of the fact that they were black. I just, I'm not saying that's never happened, but for me personally, speaking from somebody who has had an abortion, I just don't see that happening. I don't see someone sitting here saying, well, I'm black, you're black, and because of that, I'm gonna go get an abortion or I'm gonna give you up
right.
for
They
adoption.
have it because of the simple, so it's a solution to a situation. You know what I
Right,
mean? It's not, oh, I'm trying to eliminate the race.
right,
Like it's nothing on that type of energy.
right.
And it's like at the end of the day, people love to add their little scenarios, like, and then the women who will come in and like, well, I want kids and I can't have children, and I wish that you could touch a rock and you can
Right.
get pregnant. I really wish
Hmm.
that, but you can always be a mother to someone, because there's
Right.
so many people out here who need love and guidance and
Yes.
nurturing. And if you have that within you and you definitely want to listen, giving birth is nothing that you want to remember.
Mm-mm.
Okay, it ain't nothing that you want to remember, honey. The scratch marks, the can't breathe, the sleepless nights,
The
baby,
ripping
you
and the
just won the
tearing.
lottery. You got a child and you get to be a mother without all that extra.
Right.
You get to deal with everything else other than the pushing. And I understand people want to experience it all, but you have
Mhm.
to look at the bigger picture,
Yeah.
because the original foster care was community.
Mm.
And if you understand what I'm saying, if Margie could not take care of her children,
Mhm.
Auntie Gladys, Uncle Sam, everybody, hey, we gonna raise this baby. And at the
And
meantime, we finna help, TT get her mind right.
yeah.
Okay. And
And
either she gonna continue doing what she doing, or she finna get it together and we gonna help her until she get it together.
yes, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm
No.
glad that you brought that up because when during my research about adoption and abortion statistics in our community, that was something that I found as well. So I'm so glad you brought that up. Is most of the time when it comes to Black children being placed up for adoption or being adopted, they are adopted more by their maternal grandparents or
Mm-hmm.
aunts or something like that more than they are adopted outside of the home. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm so glad you brought that up because that is something that I found during my research and all this. But I'm gonna pass it back to you. I just wanted to say that.
No, and thank you for saying that, because hey, there you go. Backing
Mm-hmm.
it up with the facts. So, and that's why I love it, because I may not know every statistic, but I do know a lot of stories. I do
Yeah.
know what people have
Right.
projected and told
Yeah.
me and experienced in their.
Yeah.
It's seldom that I have heard a fairy tale ending. It's
Right.
very seldom. And I've seen so many people on the tactic talk
Mm-hmm.
about their stories and how they're like protesting against foster care. So it's like, if you were in it and you're talking bad about it, why are you promoting people to put more people into the system? Like
Right.
it just people
Make it
do
make
not
sense.
think of the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
you so quick to say no, it's horrible, but you don't understand the steps that come after it.
Right.
It's so much bigger than just it's a life. It really is a
Hmm.
life that can
Right.
affect other lives,
Right.
you know and just because we don't think of others, we shouldn't start thinking of other people and what they should do. That's not how we think of others. We don't put our 22 cents on others' lives.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can always advise, you can always, teach, but you can't make the horse drink. You can't
Right.
force somebody to do what you want them to do,
Right.
you know? And what all the movies that when they have the everybody got to do everything a certain way, it's
Hmm.
always somebody who end up saying I'm tired of that.
Right.
So it's you can never control everybody. Okay.
Right.
And that's what it is. Let people live
Yeah.
their life. Live yours.
Exactly. And even when it comes to having an opinion, why be so quick to judge and so slow to support?
Yeah.
Because you're so quick to push so much shame on this Black woman who chose to get an abortion or this Black woman who chose to give her child up for adoption. And you're so quick to judge and so quick to make posts or social media content about it or spots talk
Echo,
about it or
scream, all of that.
shame the Black women in our
Yeah.
community, and so slow to be like, well, let me put myself in your shoes. What was the situation? Is it not the same as looking at the man who is in the Black man who lives in a neighborhood where he has no opportunities to feed his family and his family's at home starving? So he goes out and takes what he can get because he's
Right.
not being given anything,
Right.
and does that make him a criminal or does that make him a man that's out here trying to survive with nothing?
Right.
So being so quick to judge somebody when you don't even know their situation, for me
Right.
it's just like, I feel like as society, not even as our own community, because I feel like this is a society thing, like being so quick to judge someone when you don't even take the time to understand where they're coming from. Take the time to understand that mother who for 9 months carried her child and had to give her child away, that piece of her away, because she understood the bigger picture. I know somebody personally who was the product of a rape. His mother gave him up for adoption for that, because whenever she would look at him, she would see her rapist. She should not have to be forced to deal with that. Just like you said, how is that going to make that child mother relationship when
Yeah,
this child grows up wanting to be loved and the mother can't do it because all she sees is her rapist when she looks at them?
right, exactly. That's a hard
How
thing, man.
it
And
is a
so
hard
many
thing.
people, you've never been in that situation, but
Exactly.
you
Like
you
Mike
you got
said.
opinion. You got an opinion.
Yeah. Exactly.
No. That's why they have support groups,
Right.
people who have been through certain things. So no matter
Right.
what you say in that group, it doesn't sound crazy because of the simple fact they understand.
Right. And
When
that
you
that would
don't support the situation, you have no type of connection to it. You have no type of, you know,
understanding.
hindsight, yes, understanding. You don't have it because you can always say your shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Just like
Right.
when people say, "Oh yeah, if she had said that to me, or they had did
Right.
this to me, or blah blah blah, I would have did X, Y, and Z," and then get put in that situation, and then boom, you ain't
Right.
doing nothing. You know,
Exactly.
so it's like you cannot speak until you're in that situation. That's why
Exactly.
judging others and shaming people, it doesn't click for me. It doesn't click for me because of the simple fact that you don't understand
Yeah.
what type of mindset, perspective, emotions, because you can have the same we can go through the same situation,
Yeah.
and how I react to it is not how you
Two
ever met
different
siblings who've lived in the same household, but
exactly.
what Brady Bunch, Marsha, all of
Hmm.
y'all got a mamas and daddies, but she
Yeah.
worried about Marsha. You know what I mean?
Right.
Marsha ain't worried about nobody. You feel me?
Right.
So it's like it's like you can't push a perspective on someone else's vision,
Right.
you know. So we just really have to have more, it's empathy, if i
Exactly.
if i if I'm saying that correctly.
That is correct, and that's a
Okay.
very,
So
very
yeah,
good
we
description.
really need to work on that because ooh baby, it's just you just can't do that. People scared to be honest with themselves, be
Hmm.
honest with others. You know what I mean? Because of fear
Right.
of judgment. And that judgment, honey, that shame, ooh, it can make
Yeah.
somebody just either flip or dip. You know what I
Right.
mean? You know what I mean by dip. Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
like you can push so many people to the edge. And why
Hmm.
would you ever want to do that? You
Right.
know, why would you ever want to do that? Like,
Right.
people don't even talk about the hormones during pregnancy. You could be a everything sunshine type of person and then let you have a boy and then you want to be the She-Hulk. Okay. And you want to
Right.
break things and throw walnuts. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, and this is something out of your control.
Right.
You lose your teeth, you lose your hair. Some people, they have eczema and turn into, grow hair every, like it's just so many things that can happen to you. You may die. You know what I mean? So it's like it's so many things
Right.
that could happen. And if a woman has decided this is the line that I want to take, whether I have it, whether I have an abortion, or whether I give it up for adoption.
Hmm.
So those are the three, right?
Right.
And so if you choose one of those doors, whatever happens afterwards, that's on you.
Right. You have to deal
So
with that.
you have to deal with that. And
Nobody
sometimes
else.
nobody else. Nobody lives in your mindset but you.
Hmm.
And so I just I just never can understand how you can force something upon someone or
Right.
tell someone how to live their life
Right.
or how to, oh, how they're going to hell because of this. You
Right.
know, like,
And to be honest, I feel like we're living in hell because when
okay,
we can be living on a planet or a dimension or whatever the case may be where a grown man can go and essay a newborn. That seems like hell to me.
and get
Just
less
being
time than a
honest.
drug dealer.
Just being honest. And you have people like that who will live to be 80, 90 years old and die in prison. And here you have this mother who's the glue to her household and has never committed a sin and ends up dying in a car accident because somebody chose to drive drunk. That to me seems like hell, honestly.
Right,
So for people to sit here and say, "Oh, well, if you do this, you're going to hell," or if you
yeah,
like, we really don't know. The same way that we don't know where we came from before your life was created,
right,
as far back as you can remember. We don't know what happened before this, and we don't know what happens
right.
after this. We have no proof of anything. So to sit there and be so gung ho with that, it's just like when you sit there and you
You got
judge
something for me,
somebody.
baby. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
thank you. No, you're fine. Thank you. Because I would have watched this live back like, I know.
No, I'm gonna tell you, babe. I'm gonna tell you.
Thank you. Thank you. See, this is why I need you in my life. But it's like when you're so quick to judge somebody and not quick to put yourself in their shoes, what does that say about you as a person?
Yeah, but you don't want
Because
nobody
there's
judging you.
exactly. And just like,
Let your mother-in-law say something, or let your neighborhood your
mm-hmm,
neighbor say something, and I don't understand why she would say that. You don't know me.
mm-hmm,
Okay, same thing. Ding ding, same
right.
thing.
Right.
You
And
know
my
why?
advice to people like that would be, like I said, put yourself in their shoes. Just like you said, there's so many support groups out here when it
Yeah,
comes to people who have had adoptions, when it comes to people who have had abortions.
yeah,
Go join one. Go sit in on one of those groups and
yeah.
listen to those women, and you will see that that is either or is not an easy decision by
It's
any
not
means. It's not something that anybody takes lightly. It's not
right,
something that is just like you said, "Oh, I'm got Dr. So and so over here. Let me schedule another one because I keep
right,
popping it open." It's
right.
like it's such
And
a
then, like I said, even if someone has that mentality, when you
that's their
dig
prerogative.
deeper, no, when you dig deeper, it's for
Right.
something deeper.
Yeah.
There's always a deeper
Yeah.
level. There's always a deeper level.
Right.
Nobody forms who they are without some type of life experience.
Right.
You know
You
what I
don't
mean?
know what people have gone
You
through.
don't
You don't know
know.
what
And
people are going through.
these experiences are what shape us to who we are.
Exactly.
So let people go through their own journey.
Right.
Okay, let people go through their own journey.
Right.
And it's just like, I just really don't, and then when people have too many kids, they want to complain like, oh, you have too many kids. You're
Mm-hmm.
sucking the simple nutrients from everyone. Like, stop having
Right.
kids. So what you want? You want them
Right.
to have
Or
them, but
you
not too many.
raising you letting the
Not
government
too
raise your
many.
kids. You're living on welfare. You're depending on the government, and you got
Right.
all these kids, and you're not
So,
doing nothing.
hey, baby, whether you do, whether you don't, they gonna womp womp won't.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, I'm live your life, honey,
Yeah.
and hey, let others live theirs. Okay,
Right.
and that's what you need to do. You need to mind your business and drink
Right.
your water. If someone asks for your opinion, then hey, loosen up your lips and talk. But if nobody called you over, then Red Rover, shut the fuck up. Just stop. Just stop,
Facts.
dude.
Facts.
All
Absolutely.
you gotta
Even
do.
how you were saying, like, getting down to when it comes, like, carrying that baby, birthing that baby, after the fact of that baby. I saw something on Facebook, and I think the girl, she had to be in her early 20s. She was a mother of three kids.
Mm.
She literally wrote a suicide post on Facebook and
Oh,
took her own life. And
thank
she basically, to sum it up, she basically said that being a mom for her was harder than she anticipated, and that she had no help from the father of her kids, and mentally she could not handle being a mother anymore. And it had Nothing to do with the amount of love that she had for her kids. But at the end of the day, like I said, she ended up unaliving herself. And the backlash that she got on the internet was heartbreaking. Not one, I saw few and far between people commenting that had empathy for her.
Yeah,
This was a young mother who caved under the pressure of being a mother.
yeah.
Let that sink in, because being a mother is not an easy task.
It's not.
Really not.
You're literally raising another human, and a human is gonna do whatever. You
Yeah.
don't know what type of child you're gonna have.
Facts.
Okay,
Right.
you can be the most loving, most gentle parent. You could be a feather parent. Okay,
Yeah.
honey, and the child can end up resenting you, hating you. I've seen children treat their parents like crap, and
Right.
the parents are just the sweetest as pie. Just,
Murder their
what can
parent.
I do? Murder them?
And they
Exactly.
grew up with the perfect life, had
Grew
everything
up
they
with
ever
a
wanted.
mother, a father, love, money, out. You can have the most quote unquote storybook life, and still the, the kid can end up with a chemical imbalance and freaking murder the whole family. But they had the
Facts.
baby, right?
Right.
It was supposed to happen.
At least they're not going
It
to
was the
hell,
will
even
of
though
the
they're dead.
Lord.
Right.
Like, no, don't do that. Don't
Right.
do that. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. So you cannot predict, oh, when you have that baby, you're gonna connect. When you have that baby, it's gonna love and respect you. When you
Right.
have that baby, everything is, when you pop a child out, there is no manual that comes in the placenta.
Not at
I
all.
don't know if you knew that. If you didn't know, now you know. So
Shocker, people.
shocking.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. There's no warranty. There is no 30-day. There's none of that.
There's no perfect parent. There's
It is
no rule
nothing but
book.
commitment, confusion, trial and error. That is what parenting literally is.
Right.
Because what works for one child will not work for another.
At any,
You could
not at all.
babysit all the kids, all the, listen, when they come out of you, you can say, "Oh, I was the best child ever. My kids are going to be this and that." And then they get the bloodline of the great grandpapa
Right.
who was a terror.
Right.
You know what I mean? You cannot control. Do hey guys, I don't know if you know that when you have children, it's a combination of your bloodline and curses and their bloodline and curses. And you don't know what type of mixture that
Right.
Scooby Doo snack is gonna have.
Right.
So you can have all these, well, you know what? This is how I'm going to raise my child, and
Mhm.
I'm going to do this, and oh, you don't have it, you don't have this and that, and you know, I had
Yeah.
one person shame another mother because she didn't have a whole bunch of photo albums of her children.
Wow.
And she was like, "What type of mom of you are you? You don't have pictures on your phone. All your pictures are of your kids. How dare you? You're not
That's
involved."
insane.
And Shorty was like, "Babe, I live with them. I see them all the time."
Right.
And then I work.
Right.
So while you have the time to take pictures of little Johnny while he's playing with his rubber ducky, I'm
Right.
trying to get Johnny out the damn tub so I can go to sleep for work tomorrow.
Facts.
Picture, he knocked my phone down last time. I
Right.
learned
He
I had to
put
pay
my phone in the
$20 for a new
toilet.
phone. So you know what? We're not taking more pictures of little
Right.
Johnny. When little Johnny learned to not smack stuff out my hand, I'll take some more pictures.
Nova. I'm just kidding.
Every time, okay, Nova be smack dabbing, honey.
That
Shout out to
baby's
my poo
crazy.
poo. That little
Shout
baby
out to
that
Novi
be like,
Lee.
"Who is you?" I was like, "Oh, you don't like black people? Okay."
That's my grandson, by the way. Sorry, y'all.
But yeah, so it's like, you let people live their life.
Please.
That's I put that on a shirt. Let me live my life. And if
Right.
I end up making a mistake, hey, guess what? It's my mistake to be had.
Yep.
If I mess up my life, it's my life that I messed up.
Right.
Let me ruin it myself.
Right.
That's how we learn. That's how we grow.
Right.
And
We
even
all
for
have
the people,
people.
Yes, we all had to grow. Even for the people who never change, that
Right.
is their lesson. When you never change, this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they have a little or I don't know if you ever seen this show called The Good Place.
Yeah.
Maybe they have, yeah, that show intrigued me. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe they have like a little orientation when the game is over, and they be like,
Right.
"Hey, you remember when this happened? You remember
Right.
this happened?" You know what I'm saying? You go
Yeah.
over stuff, or I don't know. We don't know,
Right.
like you said, we don't know what happens in the
Right.
beginning. We are only in the middle.
Yeah.
Then we can kind of shoot for what we want the end to happen. You know
Right.
what I mean? All I
Exactly.
know is that I'm not gonna let nobody scare me into being a good person. Like, oh, I don't want to go to hell, so I'm gonna be good and I'm
Right.
gonna pray and I want to
Right.
do it because it brings me peace. I
That
want to
part.
do it because it makes me happy. I want to
Right.
do it because I love making another person smile. And
Exactly.
seeing that person turn that frown upside down makes me like, damn, I'm happy that you on the right
Out
track.
there. Yeah.
Just that is so fulfilling to me.
Right.
It's so fulfilling to make someone happy, to make
Right.
someone say, you know what, I can do this.
Right.
Changing a perspective, ooh, that shivers my timbers in a good way. I'm telling you, to see when somebody has that aha moment
Yeah.
and they say, you know what, I can. That look of belief in yourself, ooh, that is a
Right.
structured look, honey. And we
Right.
all deserve it. We all deserve it.
Heck yeah. And I love how you said that. Like just be a good person. You why be, like you said, be out here trying to do good because you don't want to go to hell, like they say. Why not do it just because you want to be a good person? Like that for me is the question of the day. Like, what can you do in your community to be a good person?
Yeah.
And not just because you feel like you're going to get some sort of reward or clout for it. Just strictly being a good person. What can you do? Can you hold the door for someone? Can you give
Right.
someone a compliment? 90% of the things you could do when it comes to putting good out are free.
It's
So,
free. And guess what? Being a good person doesn't always give you that reward.
right,
You shouldn't be a good person for validation,
right,
because a lot of people want somebody to, okay, good job. You're such
right.
a good person. You're such
Give that
it's,
like, give that thumbs up.
it's an amazing, but no, for real, hit that like though. But the thing
Please
is
share
though,
this too.
share the
Tell your
love,
people.
share the love.
Sorry.
But no, for real though, you don't do it for the validation, because
Right,
validation doesn't come all the time. So you're gonna stop being nice and stop being
right.
a genuine person
Because nobody's paying attention.
because nobody's paying attention.
Right.
Why is nobody saying that I'm a good person? Why aren't I in a better state? Why aren't I
Nobody
doing
liked
everything
this post of me feeding the homeless.
exactly? I fed three of them and I spent 12.99.
Right.
So it's like you shouldn't be looking for that. I fed the homeless before, but I didn't
Same.
film it.
Same.
If somebody
The,
filmed it,
and
then that's on them.
let's just talk about that for a second, because I feel like that is this is okay. I'm not gonna say I feel this is the reason why I did not film when I fed the homeless,
Mhm.
because I feel like that for me is so disrespectful to
Yeah,
have somebody come up to you and be like, "Hey, would you like this food? Would
yeah,
you want some food? I got some food for you." Like,
yeah.
that is so disrespectful. Like, I
Yeah.
am not uh I'm a human being. Treat
Looking
me
for
like a human.
his
I put myself
for
in
attention.
their shoes. If I was in,
And I've been in that position where I
yeah,
was on the other end, like, hey, can you take a picture so that they know that we gave you this
yeah,
food? And I'm like, why? You know you did it. I know you
right,
did because I'm about to eat it. But why you
right,
gotta take a picture of it? It's
yeah,
like it's like a trophy. I felt like
right,
one of the fish that you put on the wall. Like,
yeah,
look at how many poor people I fed. No,
exactly,
feed the people them. Feed the people them. You don't have to
right.
showcase it.
Put yourself in their shoes. If you were that homeless person
Yeah.
on the corner being given food after you possibly haven't ate in days, would you want to look up and see a camera in your
And
face?
go cheese.
Right.
No.
It to
No.
me it's disrespectful. it's disrespectful to sit there and put somebody in that situation, and then 90% of the time they're not even being asked if they want to be filmed because you're looking at me like I'm homeless, so therefore my human rights
You don't
somehow went
need
out the window.
consent. You don't need consent, you
Right.
filthy scallywag.
Right. Right.
Excuse me? Like, no.
I'm
I
human.
just listen. I everybody who's homeless, there's a lot of people who want to be, because I've encountered them like, hey, I feel freedom now. I ain't gotta pay no bills. I
Right.
get money. Shoot, I offered this homeless man a job when I used to work for Waffle House.
Hmm.
And shout out to the Waffle House crew. but but yeah, so like, I offered him a job because you begging for money. So do you need a job?
Right.
Waffle House hire everybody. You know what I'm saying? As long as you ain't got even the criminal record, yes. So it
There you
depends.
go.
You
Everybody heard that. So if you got a criminal record, you can go to Waffle House.
I think they done tightened up since
Yeah. Oh well,
they done
never mind.
tightened up because
Don't
they've
quote
had
her on that
incidents. You
then.
gotta learn from your mistakes.
Right.
Move forward. But anyway, they tightened up a little bit. But no, before they was just
Yeah.
hiring everybody, okay?
Yeah.
And so
Oh yeah.
talking about, so he said, "Oh no, thank you. I make more money than you, and it's tax
I
free."
was
I
just about
said,
to say that. Like, I'm pretty sure panhandling, he makes
"Ooh."
more money than the employees at Waffle
I
House.
was like, "Dang, he tried me." I went home and I cried about that. I said, "Did a homeless person just burn me? Oh, flame my ass." I was
And
like, no, but see, look at that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And you can't judge somebody. So I'm over here trying to help this guy. He's like, yo, I got it covered.
Right.
I'm at work right now. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we can't
I've
judge.
even had experiences where I've went to go hand homeless people food and they're like, no thanks. Like, I don't want your food. Like,
Right,
why? I don't know. Did I sit there and get offended by it? Did I sit there and be like, what do you mean? You're homeless. I know you know I didn't. I just went
right,
on to the next person,
right.
respecting the fact that they said no. So just again, you can't assume just because I'm homeless that I'm down and out and I'm sitting here like
I'm gonna take
looking
your half
for the
and
next
run with
handout.
it. Yeah. Some
Just like
people
you
have
said,
they
some
have
people like being
standards.
homeless.
Okay. They have
Yeah,
some of them have standards. Some of them will take that sandwich, and some of them be like, mm-mm, I'm
right,
gluten free, or no,
right,
I don't like lettuce.
right.
I've had somebody,
Or I don't know what you put in here.
right,
Don't tell me.
exactly, and you don't,
Right,
you don't, because there's crazy folk out here who be knocking
exactly.
them out, because don't
That
nobody
part.
looking out for them,
Right,
and that's another thing, the homeless people, they really going through it. And I just feel like there has to be some type of reform, like, you're here on this planet. Panhandling isn't your only skill that you could do. I really feel like we can make every human being,
right.
worth it.
Yeah,
What I mean by that is like, okay, you want to be on the streets, clean up the street then.
right. And we'll
Give me
pay
the
you something.
bottles and I'm gonna give you 5 cents on the or 10 or
Yeah,
whatever. They used to
yeah,
pay people for the bottles and the cans. Therefore, we cleaning up the earth.
right,
You cleaning up the earth, you know what I mean? You recycling. Have some of them working the recycling plants. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Have them working the recycling plants. Like, hey, you know what I mean? Do this and do that. But then it becomes a whole thing, and people don't even want to get into that conversation. But
right.
it's like, I just feel like, ain't nobody over there thinking of these ideas, or if they are, like, why is nobody
There.
else wanting to say yay for that? But oh, because there's no profit in peace. My
Yeah,
bad.
right.
Forgot.
Yeah,
Silly rabbit.
yeah. And being in that position where I have been homeless before, I can tell you right now that in those communities where there is a lot of homelessness,
Mm,
that is for me where I found the most loving, accepting
mm,
people that just literally willing to give me the shirt off their back when
mm,
that's literally all they had in those groups of people that were homeless when I was. The way that they would sit here with that sense of community looking out for you and trying to give you the scraps that they've been given. It's just like it was for me. It was incredible because
Right.
before I was homeless, I never looked at it like that. I never you just like everything else in society, you just go off of whatever the stereotype is. And
Right.
so when you get around people who are experiencing homelessness and who literally have nothing but are still willing to try to help you even
Yeah.
with the little bit they do have, it really makes you understand and be grateful that there are still people on this earth
Yeah.
who have that sense of humanity, who have that sense of community, who have that sense of
I
I'm
just
going to look out for this person sitting next to me just because they're human just like I am. And I wish that for not only our community but our society as well, that we can become more of a people that are it really was beautiful. Like I said, it was something that I had never experienced. I experienced more sense of community from them and family from the homeless people I was around than my own family, than my own community. So it
right.
really, like I said, it speaks volumes for just to reiterate that just because I don't have everything, or even if I am out here paneling, I am still human. I'm a human being. So remember that when you see people out here who are panhandling, when you see people out here who are sleeping on the streets, they, yeah, for sure, they are human too. They are human too. And
Right.
what can you do to be so quick to judge? Instead of being so quick to judge, what can you do? If that really pisses you off like that, first of all, you're a shitty person if seeing somebody homeless makes you upset. I'm just going to say that. I
Right.
said what I said. And second
Yeah.
of all, if
It
it's to
might
the
be an
point,
inconvenience to you
right,
because okay, they might be sleeping on your stoop and you got the
right,
concrete. You know what I mean? We understand the
right,
inconvenience of it all, but at the end of the day, that is a life that has led them to that point, and we
yeah,
don't know
you don't
what
know
type
what
of life
happened
that was.
exactly.
You
You
know?
have no clue.
You have no clue. And addiction is not something that is a simple thing like,
Right,
oh, yeah, today I want to do crack. Like, no,
right.
it's not simple.
It's a disease.
Addiction is the chase of whatever.
Right.
Okay?
That could
Either,
be a lot of
oh,
things.
that's what I said, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to limit what
Right.
that chase is, but
Yeah.
that is what it is.
Yeah.
Addiction is that chase. Okay? Either a chase or an escape.
Yeah.
Okay?
Because
So
you never know
an
what people
addiction
go
could
through.
be anything. You can be addicted to anything,
Yeah.
you know? Hell, you could be addicted to smiling, laughing, eating pie. You know what I
Right.
mean? Anything can be an addiction.
Right.
And then that's why we can't limit people's issues.
Right.
Oh, they just need to get off the drugs. You don't
Right.
know how bad them drugs got them or
Right.
what they had to do to get away from it or the chemical effects of the
Right.
withdrawals
Or
that
what's going
still
on upstairs that's making them want to
exactly
do
the
drugs.
mental there's so many aspects. There's so many aspects.
There really is.
So
So,
we can hate someone, have so many opinions, and have everything to say, but we don't know.
right.
And until you are put in that situation, and if you overcome it, then kudos to you.
Right.
And even if someone doesn't overcome something, that shouldn't bring shame on them.
Yes.
Okay? They tried, and that is their level of success.
Right.
Okay?
And if you have overcame it, why not spend time helping people that you're judging for not overcoming it, especially if you can relate. If you can relate to how it feels to have been in their shoes, why
Yeah.
not take that time to,
Yeah.
oh, look, Mike said right here, I had an addiction that
Yeah.
can be tough to break. Same.
Exactly.
Same. I was told just statistically, being the child of a mother who was addicted, me being growing up and being an addict, were my chances were higher than none
Yeah.
because I came just genetically, like things like that. I don't feel like people really understand really can be passed down. You can
Right.
have a father who was an alcoholic and this child grows up and be an alcoholic as well,
Yeah.
just because genetically it's in their genes to be
Mm,
addicted to alcohol or drugs. So I
mm,
can totally agree with that. Thank God that I was able to come from up under that and become the person that I am today. But I can definitely relate to that. And like I said, having an addiction, regardless of what it is, because we're not just talking about drugs and alcohol here. Let's
Oh
be
yeah.
clear. You can be addicted to anything.
Yeah.
It's a disease of the mind. It's
Yeah.
something that is, chemically imbalanced in your brain. So to sit here and judge somebody because they're maybe addicted to drugs or alcohol and you're maybe addicted to binge watching social media and judging everybody on there, it's still an addiction
Some people
regardless.
can't
Right.
function without their coffee.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
there's an addiction to caffeine.
Yeah.
There was one lady who, was addicted to watching certain things. You feel me? So
Yeah.
it happens. It
It
happens,
does.
and you can't judge them for that. And you can only commend them for how far they get in the game.
Right.
You feel me?
That part.
Because if you can help, help. If they don't want to get the help, then that's
Just
their
do that.
choice to make. And at the end of the day, every conversation is a choice,
Yes.
whether we want to do or whether we don't. Okay,
Right.
and every move we make is a choice.
Yes.
Just this life is a game of chess,
Yeah.
and it is
Free
our
will.
piece to move.
That part.
Let them play their game the way they want to play their game.
That part.
And that's so simple. It's less stress that way. Because if I just worry about myself,
That part. Say it louder for the
I
people
can
in the
just,
back.
do that.
Right.
I'm not worried about Sheila,
Because that's free.
Keisha, and Sasha, and Tom. All these people, plus my dad and my mom, just worry
Hey.
about everybody. My head
Hey.
is so hurt. I'm trying to be nosy and get all the tea and dirt. Hey, all right,
Hey.
mama. Hey, hire me if you want me to create a jingle. I'm trying to pay
It
these
is.
niggas back
Final thoughts.
before they
Final thoughts.
before they tell me that money has no value. Let me hurry up and get what I can.
That part. Final thoughts, dear.
Final thoughts. Okay, listen. I literally just said it and ended it with a song. Honestly and truly. And rewind when you watch the VOD so that you can, download it to your iCloud or whatever. But
That part.
I really just want y'all to know that life is a puzzle. It's a maze, it's a map, it's a journey. Okay. We have to sort through it. We have to read it how we want to read it or that we see it to be read.
Mm,
And just like what they usually said, like if I say the sky is green, some will believe me and some will say no, it's a different color. We're gonna
yeah.
all have our own different opinion. We're gonna all see things. Yes, thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you,
And
Mike.
I
I
appreciate
gave you a wrench as
you.
well. Thank you. We added you as a moderator. Thank you for your support.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Listen. Oh, okay. First of all, I would like to say, speaking of moderation, I
Hmm.
definitely want you to check out Mike's Freedom Outlet. Okay.
Okay.
And it is something that is necessary. Remember how we were speaking about
Hmm.
outlets and how, some people don't know what to do, have anywhere to go. Yeah, I'm a
For
mechanic
Black Visionville, you're a mechanic. Yes, sir. Welcome to the team,
with
sir.
the ranch. So I extra. I can't. But
It's free. You're working for free.
you working
Just
for
like me and
energy,
Kay.
baby.
So hit that cash up, people.
Yes. Okay. And so yeah, what Mike does is he's basically a spiritual advisor.
Oh,
And
nice.
he helps people with giving them the wisdom that they need to move forward.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Drop
To
your info in
lead
the
more
chat, Mike.
life.
If you got it or a link or something.
Yes.
Feel free to put it in there.
I have to put, if I get there before he does, then I will definitely put the link tree in the chat.
Yeah.
But yes, we're definitely going to be having a conversation with Mike, and we need to schedule that toot sweet because he has a lot of insight and gems that we need to share with our beautiful audience. Zariah, really? Zariah, really? Really? I want to go swimming. Ooh.
Zariah, we are in the same house, and mommy is almost done. Jesus Christ.
Hey, ZZ, how you doing, bud?
She's like, "Can I call Kay my auntie?" Like, of course. She's like, "Okay."
But yeah, see, surprise. This is he's actually going to be our first sponsor.
Oh, nice.
So
Thank
yeah,
you, Mike.
yeah. So it
We
definitely
appreciate that.
his vision aligns with our vision and we can definitely collab to do
Yes,
more
you need
for
to
them.
come on here. You
Yes.
need to get on, hop on the live. But again, thank you, Mike. We appreciate that 100%. We will definitely be looking out for that. We definitely have to get you on the show. Um, I'll just, are you good on your final thoughts, or
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that like,
yeah. I basically said
I'm
everything that
like, I know you
I
broke
said.
out in the
I
song
feel
and said it,
very
and then,
I feel very happy with, because
yeah,
this was a very intense topic. And
it
I do
was.
appreciate you asking me, hey, do you feel
Yeah,
comfortable
absolutely.
speaking about this? Because a
Hmm.
lot of people are scared to speak on it. And
Yeah,
I have a vagina and I've
yeah,
had children. So I feel like I can speak on
right,
and I have different, experiences in all of the
right,
topics that we have
right,
spoken about today. And
yeah,
those are my experiences to share or to keep. Doesn't
right.
mean that I'm ashamed, doesn't mean that, you know what I mean? It's just
That's
that's
yours.
my business to have. You feel me?
Right,
And that's why I say I don't judge because I
right.
understand, and overstand. And I appreciate you bringing this topic to the forehand because of the
Hmm.
simple fact that it is a taboo. It is kind of like shut up,
Right.
type of topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike, for putting that in the chat. Y'all, please reach out to him. Um, we support each other over here, so
And I
definitely.
did put the link to his Patreon. It has, all the information that you need, and
Okay.
the monthly subscription is $10. And
Okay.
we pay for the Netflix. They got a whole bunch of stuff and
Right.
energy on
Pay
there.
for something
We
beneficial,
we
people.
pay for something that's for your mental health
Right.
because we living in a time right now, and we've always lived in a time where mental health wasn't taken seriously, and also it's like it's crumbling now. It's really crumbling. Okay, so we gotta bring it back up. All right, I'm sorry, I'm done.
No, you're fine. I had to put myself on mute so I could yell at my family to get my grandson because I'm pretty
Oh,
sure you can hear him
Nova
screaming on my
Scotia.
live. So there's that, people. When you watch this back and you hear that, that's my grandson because he doesn't give a shit about my life, which why would
Yeah.
he? He's one. So there's that. um, anyways, my final thoughts. Like I've said, whether you have had an abortion, whether you have put your child up for adoption, whether you are the product of an adoption, um, that's your prerogative. Don't be so quick to judge. You don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know anything. Nobody knows anything. So let's just say that first of all. Um, Black women, I'm not judging you. I love you as always.
You too.
Totally understand where you're coming from. Like I said, I've been there, I have done that. That was not an easy decision for me. I don't think it was ever an easy decision for anybody that has been put in that predicament. So
Right.
the next time that you have to make that decision, just know that here at Black Visionville, we support whatever you choose to do because that is your body, that is your choice, and you alone are the ones that's going to have to deal with the consequences of that, regardless of what route you take. None of them are easy mentally, physically, emotionally. So kudos to any women who have ever been put in that situation that has had to make that decision to abort a child, to give that child up for adoption, and not saying that like, oh, kudos to you for murdering your child or giving your child away. Just kudos to you for being brave enough to make that decision for
That you
your,
thought was best
yeah,
for your life.
exactly. Kudos to you for
Because
doing what,
whatever
yeah,
decision you decided to make, you
is
felt
right.
that was the best one
Yes,
out
and
of
it
all.
totally is because it's your life. So whatever
Yeah.
decision you choose to make is 100% right because that is your life
And
and
just
you
make sure
have to
you
deal
learn, make
right.
sure you heal, and make
Right.
sure you grow. And at
Right.
the end of the day, when you learn, heal, and grow from whatever you have gone through, you move forward with more confidence, with more contentment, and more just peace within yourself because of the
Right.
simple fact that you know, hey, at the end of the day, this was what I said, not because Pastor said this, not because the Bible says this, not because everybody's yelling at me, not
Right.
because I'm deemed not a woman because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
do this. It's because I feel like, hey, right now it's not the best time,
Right.
or this person that is with, I know I'm not trying to get stuck with, I'm trying to get
Right.
out. You
Right.
feel me? I know that this person
Whatever.
is abusive and I don't want to carry
Yeah.
that lineage. You feel me?
Right.
Whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
you need to let them live their life. And we
Yes.
love you, black woman. We love you, black man. We love you, black
Right.
people. And we
That.
love everyone. But like
That.
we always say, we are trying to root for our people because we feel like, hey, that who is a little it's a little soft, baby, because we all confused, we all contained, and we all just tired. And
Right.
when you tired because you've been rallying the whole time, who gonna take a break? We
Right.
can't take a break. It's not the time to take a break.
That part.
Are you tired? But hey, put 20 on pump five. We gotta get back. We gotta get back
We
on the
got
road.
we gotta hit the gas on
We
this one
gotta
for
get. We
sure.
have to. We have
For
to.
sure.
Cause
And
check out the last topic that we spoke about the time frame. We got about what 4.4 years.
yeah.
Okay, we got about
Yeah.
4 years. Okay,
Yes.
and I just want to at least make it the best 4 years ever.
That part. Please and thank you. As always, hit the like, hit the subscribe. Thank you all for your continued support to continue to come here and listen to me and Kay talk. Again, these are strictly our own opinions, our own experiences. This is never to take away from anybody else's experiences or opinion. For all you people out there that might be kind of sensitive, just know that we are just speaking from a place of we can relate.
Yeah,
That's it. That's all. We want to be a part of the change that our community needs. That's why we do these things. Again, I will say this every time. That's why it's so important to like, comment, subscribe, share, even if that's all you can do. If you can do more, it is greatly appreciated because we are going to be the change that our community needs. So, again, all this helps. We appreciate all of your time. And like I said, at the end of the day, regardless of what route you choose to take, that is 100% on you. Don't let anybody else influence your decision and do not feel bad for the decisions you make. If you are that type of woman out here that's just going from Tom, Dick, and Harry and you keep getting pregnant, so you're giving your kids away or getting divorced, my advice
get
to
your
you
tubes
is
tied or something.
live and learn. Maybe try to take a step back, but again, no judgment here. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I hope you all have a beautiful Sunday. Thank
but you
you all
don't
for
want to break
stopping
your
by.
coochie. You don't want to do that. Mess with your organs and stuff. Don't do that. Take care of your body. It's your temple.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. So, thank you, Mike, for staying with us. We appreciate
Thank
your support.
you.
Thank you, Kay, for being here as always. I love
Thank
you. I hope
you.
you have a great rest of your day. I'm
You
gonna go and
too.
take my kids swimming, Zariah, if you can hear that. So,
Yay.
yeah.
Hey, ZZ. I miss y'all.
You
Kiss,
are
kiss,
not
kiss.
getting a rinse, Chicky.
Ooh. All right, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful evening and a
Bye.
blessed week.
See you all. Peace.